Oh, there you, okay. Okay, when you take a look at this one that Jason did, he has the kind of the digital effect with a grid. So if he had a piece of graph paper, it would have been easy to place that on there. But we'll simulate it using this. Let's see if I can. Okay. So you can put some a grid on this just with ruler guides. You can change it, but we can also just make it with the rectangle tool. Is probably the easiest, and just make one square of this. And that's going to start off as being yellow, but that's okay. We'll just use a little bit of the coloring here and see if we can place that on there. So, kind of taking a look at this, if we made this perfect square, probably be easier. We'll try it a couple ways. So there's a perfect square. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So it looks like he has 5 spaces coming down. So I'm just going to option to duplicate it. With the option key, we'll duplicate that. As long as you don't do another function on the computer, you can hold the keystroke of Command D. So just holding Command and hitting D once, twice, and 3 times. It gives you everything duplicated at the same distance that you built it at. And then if I select all of this, I'll move it down just so I can see the drawing with the Shift key to keep it straight. And just kind of coming across, let's see what we can do here. So it's a little interpretive. And again, just using the D all the way across. See how far this goes. So we'll start it out that way. So what you can do it a number of different ways. I'm just going to kind of go through like I'm drawing this um, selection. Here's the keystroke for doing the color to swap it. So that's the top color. And just selecting this. So instead of doing it from here, I'm just going ahead and using the keystroke, and you leave the mouse over, it tells you Shift X is placing that in there. So it's kind of leaving that one and kind of coming over 3 and down 1 for this one. Taking a look, this might be 3 tall. So it's placing that one. This looks like a blank column, even though I'm a little off. And then coming up here, 2, 3 going across this way. And building that up. So this is kind of inverted. This is crossing over here. Let's see what I can do here. It might be a little... I might run out of room. We'll see what we can do here. So he's doing that part for the end. This is all blank. And this whole row is going to be black. So I'll just do a selection. And this one we'll take out. So it's kind of what he has. Does that look close to what you want, Jason? This might be. So I might take this. Here's the N. Here's the J. So I could probably take that section and do that, but that's going to be the end part of that one. Missed it by that much. So that might be what he's looking at for that section. So 2 things. If you like all the yellow and black that I just used, I could select everything. And usually if you group it and then click off of it, now when I just click on one of this, it moves the whole thing. And if I edit and undo that, undo group and everything, so now it's just one piece. So now if I select everything like this, have to make sure I highlight it all, I can move it. And just going to put it back with the return key. But now if I want to click in the middle, it's just moving one piece. So the nice thing about grouping it is I can select it all. You have object and group, and on group up here, Command G. And then when I click on it, it'll let me move everything. Now if I want to edit something in here, you can see that as soon as I click on it, the fill and the stroke have a question mark. It's not sure what that is. So what happens is you have to either ungroup it or just double click on it, and it turns what it's called an isolation mode. And it takes the graphic kind of out of the, simulates it. So here's a double clicking it. And here you can see up at the top you have this gray out and everything disappears, but now I can select one piece at a time. And then when I'm done, I just take the arrow and click back or hit the escape key. And now it's still grouped together. But if I like what I did here, just for because it has the outlines opposite. So if it's a yellow, it has a black outline, and black has the yellow outline. So it's kind of different. Didn't think I would come up with that, and that's the nice thing about from your drawing. You're sketching out these ideas, and then once you get it onto the computer, you have a lot of ability to change this. So you can go through this part and change the coloring of this one. So I'm just going to ungroup this, and depending on how you select it, it has a couple things. So you can select all the black ones here. Take a second here, but I ungrouped the original one. So, and there's other ways to select things. I'm just going over the one. So shift keying is like a manual way to do it since I can't select them all, but there's other ways to select it. So here's all this. I'll go ahead and group those together. And then if I double click on the color here I can change it to color. I can take this part off. Okay. And all these palettes, all I've done is made them into icons instead of the words. So I have the icons plus the word, and when I click on it, the palette comes open like this. And you just do that up in the modification bar. But here I can select all the yellow ones. So I'm manually clicking it. And you can tell when it's selected, it has a little dot inside of it. And again, I'll just group this. So it's kind of getting used to how you like to work with something. So I'll double click on this one, and I'll just pick a blue color like that. And here's the color panel. This opens up or closes up. Right now it's at the CMYK mode, which is fine. But that gives me an option to take a look. And why this is highlighted, I'll just go ahead and take off the stroke. So now it's all one piece there. Okay. So just kind of a quick way is trying to get that digital look to it. And if you wanted this one to be red with a panel on the outside, then that would be easy, just clicking on this. Keep in mind these are selected, so I'd have to double click on this one to isolate this one. And you can either take the eyedrop tool and click, and it'll fill it with whatever that color is that I just picked. And just when I come out of here, it'll show me that piece. So if he wants to have that panel on either side. But depending on how you look at it, that's the pixelation for it. And gives you a good way to go. Again, when you're done, you want to go into the layers panel. Like I said, I have these listed here, and I can adjust these, and I tried to make some alphabetical into different groups. But here's the layers panel, and this is good. I didn't separate it, so that's okay. But that's the selection that I have, so I can break that piece out. But first, come out of there, and here's the scan layer. So I'll just close that. Toggle through this, hide that. And now I want to take a picture of this. Well, if this is in the way, I can just select it and just move it out of the way, or just go to Object and hide that selection, Command 3, and it temporarily hides it. Spacebar lets me move this down here. Tab key hides all the panels, and now I'm free to make a Command Shift 4 and make that selection there. So it's using the positive, negative shapes to make his logo. Get the Tab key back, Command Tab to go to. All these are open, so when the Command key is held down, it brings up the dock for that part, and it'll let me scroll through this to the Finder. I'll just hit on the desktop. Bring this in the window so you can see it on the screen. Spacebar just shows the picture. And just title it and turn that one in, and you're all set. All completed.